So welcome back to another episode, and this is one that I've been thinking about doing. I thought maybe I should do an update. I've been talking about Phantasy Star for around 8 years, little pieces of it here and there, and I just thought today I would show my entire Phantasy Star collection. Really, and I gotta start off, why do I have this huge collection of Phantasy Star stuff? How does it get to this? And it all kind of goes back to 1988. I've talked about it before. One of my favorite video games of all time, Phantasy Star on the Master System. I saw it at a friend of mine's place, and it just changed my life. It really had a huge impact on me, and made me really become the hardcore gamer that I became over the years, the obsessive gamer that I've become over the years. And it's funny, it all started off with this game right here, Phantasy Star. This is the original copy. This is a copy that Rob got me. This is a mint version of it. And I really appreciate this. Like, Rob gave this to me during a tough time in my life, and I really appreciated him getting that for me. But here is my original Phantasy Star. This is the original. And it went through a lot of owners before it finally got to me. This is the original one that I saw back in '88. So nearly 28 years ago now, and it's a little worn down, it's a little beaten up, the instruction manual's really beaten up, but I'm so happy to get this. It went from my friends down the street, to another guy, to Andrew, and then to one other guy, and then finally, I bought it off him for $10 or something like that, and a very treasured game. If my entire collection burned down, there's only one game I'd want to save. This and Easebooks 1 and 2. Those are the only games I'd be like, they emotionally mean something to me. Everything else can go. But, so I'm really happy to have the originals there. And this is in no particular order because there's so much stuff. I've got stuff behind all here to show you, but this is really important. I got two versions of the Mark III. For the Mark III was the Master System in Japan, and this is the original Phantasy Star as well. These are gold editions. All the Mark III games were gold editions, which is cool, so it makes every game extra awesome, and I just wanted to have the originals there. I remember Rob one year got it for me for Christmas. It was kind of a beat-up version, and I was able to find a bit more of a mint copy before collecting got insane. So that is that. Let's see, what else have we got here? We've got the Game Gear versions, Japanese only versions, and I picked those up, I think, around 4 years ago. Now, here we go. Let's see. This is on the Mega Drive. It is Phantasy Star 1 on the Mega Drive with the original FM music, if you prefer that. I personally like the original Master System music, but that's what I grew up with. I understand that the FM music it sounds better, but for me it'll always be the original music. But happy to have this on the Mega Drive. Got that, oh geez, must be about maybe 11 years ago, something like that. What else have we got here? We got Phantasy Star 2. Here is the Japanese version on the Mega Drive. Phantasy Star 3 on the Mega Drive. And End of the Millenium. Phantasy Star 4 on the Mega Drive. Really happy to get that. And since we're kind of in that zone right now, here's my copy. I really need to get a better copy of this, of Phantasy Star 4. I bought this off my friend Andrew a long time ago. And yeah, I think he lent me the game. I was 22 when Phantasy Star 4 came out. And here's my original copy of Phantasy Star 2. These are all a little bit beaten down. Here's the instruction manual that comes with it. A little bit beaten up over the years. And the controversial Phantasy Star game, Phantasy Star 3. A game that, it's not perfect, but there's some bits in this game that I've talked about it before, you gotta really appreciate. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but some of the story aspects of it that are, revealed at the end are quite something else. And when I was a younger guy playing this, I must have been 16, 17 when Phantasy Star 3 came out. It had a huge impact on me. I'm like, really? This is what's really going on? And so that was a bit of a surprise. We got some Oh, we got a Portuguese version of Phantasy Star. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's really awesome. I like having different versions of the first Phantasy Star. And here we go. Another Phantasy Star 2 copy. I don't know the language. I think that's Korean, but I'm not 100%. Okay, so we've got there. Oh, here we go. Phantasy Star. This is the Text Adventures, volumes 1 to 8. This is a reproduction cart. This was never officially released. This was on the Sega Network. It was a text adventure game, and I never got a chance to play this. I was always really jealous of it. So somebody grabbed all of them and put them onto a cart, and you can put it in a Genesis and play it. You gotta love some of these reproductions. They're fantastic. Let's move this over here. Now, oh my god, let's have a seat. Here is a game that really changed my life as well. Phantasy Star Online, and I'm going to do an entire dedicated episode. I filmed dedicated episodes of Phantasy Star Online before. I filmed it 3 times. I could just never get it right. I was never quite happy with it. So, I filmed one about 6 months ago I was really happy with. But I'm like, no, it's still not perfect. I really want to do a really good episode on it. But Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast had a huge impact on me. Spent way too many hours playing this. Man, I remember walking into work in the morning and I'd be so beat down and tired because I come home about 5 o'clock from work. I'd quickly eat dinner, like instantaneously, and I play Phantasy Star till 1 in the morning. So quite literally for like 7 or 8 hours. I do another 8-hour workday, but playing Phantasy Star, and hey, that's a welcome thing. I love that. And here we go. This is the Japanese version of Phantasy Star Online, and I think we're gonna get some foliage here. Let's see. Didn't we know that was going to happen? I knew this wouldn't go that smoothly. I'm going to put these over here, and we're going to talk about them. This is going to be the best way to do it. So we had a small earthquake over here, and they all fell down. Okay, so let's just go through this one bit at a time. Episodes 1 and 2 when it was released on the GameCube. And yeah, this is a game that I have mixed feelings about. Phantasy Star Online 3, Card Revolution. It was a card battle game online, and I never could get down with that. It was never really my type of thing. Phantasy Star Universe on the Xbox 360. I played a lot of this game. It's weird. I have weird mixed feelings about it. I spent 300 hours playing it, but I have mixed feelings about it. Go figure. But it wasn't quite Phantasy Star Online, but I still embraced it. I still tried to enjoy it. Okay, we're getting all over the place here, but here's Phantasy Star collection. This is Phantasy Star, the original games on the Game Boy Advance, and back then I was like, oh my god, I got Phantasy Star on the go, and I had it on the Micro. I played this on the Game Boy Advance Micro, and I think it's a really pretty fun thing to do. Okay, here we go. The Phantasy Star Collection. This is on the Sega Saturn. Isn't that amazing? Crazy. And this is a really nice little collection. You got all the games on here, and then you have a bunch of artwork and all the maps and stuff like that. So a really welcome thing to have. And one thing that came out of this collection was the Phantasy Star commercials. You know, the unseen Phantasy Star 1 commercials. And I was really, that was really cool to see. Now, here we go. Here's Phantasy Star Generation. Here's the special edition box, so it's a little bit bigger. And then, so I had that version, and then I have just the regular version. Just the regular version. And here is the Phantasy Star 2 Remake. Kind of, not bad. I gotta say, with the Sega Ages remakes, they're not too bad. They're not too bad. And here is, on the PlayStation 2, the Phantasy Star Collection. This is all of them on the PS2 as part of the Sega Ages package. Man, oh man. I love collecting this stuff. I can't say enough. I never, when I first played Phantasy Star, I never thought that I would have a huge collection of stuff. It didn't ever start off that way. I bought all these games because I liked the series. That's what it's all about. And I think Pete Dorsett at the best is that why some people collect a lot of stuff is you just want to show that you're a big fan of it. You like it so much that you want to collect the stuff because it makes you feel good, because you enjoy the series so much. It's a manifestation of your own love for a series. Isn't that interesting? Speaking of which, here's a Phantasy Star game that I'm not a huge fan of, and that's Phantasy Star Zero on the Nintendo DS. Not a huge fan of that. I really did try. And here's some other good ones here. I'm not huge into these, but they're the Phantasy Star portable games on the PSP. And this is the one that Rob got me. Yeah, I think in the very first Christmas special we did 8 years ago. And for all the PC lovers out there, which is a lot, we got the Phantasy Star Online, the Sega. This is the PC version. Look at the big box. You know, like, that's the one thing about some PC boxes. They are wicked. They are so cool. And this is one. Rob found this. He found this at a Value Village for like $5, and he picked it up for me. I'm like, cool, man. I'll take that for sure. Here's we'll do this one first. Phantasy Star Online Episodes 1 and 2. This is what I imported and played on my modded GameCube, just so I could play with all the Japanese players, and just to play the game before everybody else, because, you know, I just wanted to do that. So, very happy to have that one. This is amazing that I have this. This is really something else I have this. This is Phantasy Star Online, right here, signed by Yuji Naka. Back in, and he's got the date on it, in 2001. When the game really first came out. Unbelievable. Phantasy Star Online really, I'll talk about it in a future episode, but wow, did that ever make a big impact on my life. Like, you know, Phantasy Star the original had made a big impact on my life, but Phantasy Star Online was like, all of a sudden, I know, you know, we go from the single player mode, which was so good in the Phantasy Star 1, and then we go into online, and that just opened up the game, like, wow, something else. Okay, so what we've got here, Phantasy Star, first series complete album. This is all the music. This is for Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4. But what's great about this, it has the American and the Japanese soundtracks in there. So you can have Phantasy Star FM or not FM for the original, which I really appreciate. Oh, this is a little dusty. Phantasy Star Online, the soundtrack. You know, Phantasy Star Online's soundtrack is surreal, man. It's so damn good. I still listen to it to this day, but in MP3 format. I had to wipe off the CD a little bit. This is a really classic thing. This is the Phantasy Star Online, you know, like official walkthrough, the official guide, and this had a little bit of wear and tear for me. It wasn't that I needed the guide as much as I loved looking at the back, and there's a really nice little series guide in the back, which here we go. This is cool. Just talking about each game, and I must have read that 150 times. You know, there's something. I really, really enjoyed the guide. Oh, here we go. The Book of Hunters for Phantasy Star Online. Had to grab this. This was the book for Phantasy Star Online back in the day. And here's a nice little Phantasy Star book, and I do believe this covers all of them. Yes, it does. This covers all of them. Yeah, this is a nice book. Oh, here we go. The 25th anniversary of Phantasy Star brought the 25th anniversary Phantasy Star Visual Chronicles. This is a nice looking book. So this covers practically all the Phantasy Star games and all the artwork and dating back to the original, and I always appreciate having that. Very nice to have this. Oh, it is the official Dreamcast magazine covering Phantasy Star Online, and very happy to have this. Oh, here we go. It's just sitting on the floor over here. Phantasy Star Online version 2. I imported the motherfuck out of this. I had to have it. Had to play this online with everybody. But, I mean, like, oh my god. What? Jesus Christ. This is insanity. This is insanity. that it got to this kind of collection. It was just like, oh, I gotta get the Phantasy Star 2, and I've been collecting this since 1988. You know, it's not just something I bought overnight. I'm like, oh, I just want all the Phantasy Star stuff. It was the game, the original game had, you know, I really enjoyed it, and then I just started collecting all the games that came afterwards. And then I started getting the Japanese versions and a soundtrack and a book once in a while, and it ends up being this. It's wild, and it's funny, over the years, there's not a lot of series that I've really collected for like this. And as I say, I don't feel like I'm a collector. I bought all this stuff because I love it. You know, I didn't want to say, oh, I want a complete Phantasy Star collection, because if that was the case, I'm very incomplete. I just wanted to collect all the stuff that I enjoyed of the series and kind of show my love for it. You know, so it's kind of neat that I have this show on YouTube and I can show all this stuff and talk to you guys and tell you how big of a fan I am, how big of an insane, crazy, over-the-top fan I am for this series. And I really hope it continues on. I'd really, oh God, I said it 8 years ago, and I'll say it again as in my, I think my first episode. I'd love to see a sequel to Phantasy Star, which I don't, you know, like, you know, the single-player Phantasy Star. I don't think we'll ever get that. And, you know, this is about old school Sega, really, for me. It really is about old school Sega, and I loved what they were doing back then. I love the original concept for Phantasy Star. I love the character designs. I love the machinery, the worlds. It's so funny. It's a make-believe, made-up video game, but I've really enjoyed the entire setting of it and the entire world aspect of it that they built. I appreciate it. I appreciate it from a fan point of view, and I wanted to show my love for it by collecting all the games in the series that, you know, kind of meant something to me. So, anyways, guys, until next time.